Hi, this is Jason Molesky. In this example, we'll review residual plots, the standard deviation of residuals, and the coefficient of determination. In the first section of this chapter, we looked at the relationship between the average number of points scored per game, x, and the number of wins, y, for the 12 college football teams in the Southeastern Conference. A scatter plot with the least squares regression line and a residual plot are shown below. Now, the equation of the least squares regression line in this scatter plot is y hat equals negative 3.75 plus 0.437x. Also, we have a residual plot here, and we have the calculated standard deviation of residuals, 1.24, and a coefficient of determination of 0.88. Now first, let's calculate and interpret the residual for South Carolina, a team that scored 30.1 points per game and had 11 wins. Well, the first thing we need to do is find the predicted amount of wins for South Carolina based on our equation of the regression line. Y hat in this case would be negative 3.75 plus 0.437 times the number of points per game for South Carolina, 30.1, giving us a predicted number of wins of 9.4. Now the residual is found by taking the observed value minus the predicted value. We observed 11 wins, we predicted 9.4 wins, so we have a residual of positive 1.60 wins. So that is, South Carolina won 1.6 more games than expected based on the number of points they scored per game. Now, is a linear model appropriate for these data? We need to make sure we explain that. Well, looking at the residual plot, we see there's no obvious pattern left over in this residual plot, so we note that a linear model is appropriate. Recall, if we do see a distinct pattern in the residuals, that suggests there may be a model other than linear that's a little bit better. What does the value s equal 1.24 mean? Well, when using the least squares regression line with x equals points per game to predict the number of y, number of wins, we'll typically be off by about 1.24 wins. And then what does the value r squared equals 0.88 mean, the coefficient of determination? Well, we interpret that by saying about 88% of the variation in wins is accounted for by the linear model relating wins to points per game. Now for some additional practice in interpreting residual plots, the standard deviation of the residuals, and the coefficient of determination, try exercise 55.